And welcome back, folks. I am eSC Devo, and I'm here with Thomas, and we have been casting this Armata Open tournaments, and we are looking at a next match right now between two teams, one of which I actually do remember off the top of my head from a previous tournament we had cast, I think, last time with Armata Gaming. And this is Team Faded versus CTP. And CTP, folks, well, that is an important DOTA rule to follow. It stands for carry TPs. And I'm telling you right now, I can't count how many matches I've seen lose for players who do not carry their TPs. So I'd expect CTP. Thomas, what do you think? They will be carrying their TPs or what?
I hope so. I mean, looking at some of their players, so far every single player on the team has a TP, so... Except for Gyrocopter.
They're practicing what they preach, so good on them. So far right now we're looking at 6 minutes into the match. So far no first blood. We're seeing a disruptor just dancing around that double damage rune right there, and there we go. We see the clockwork getting in there. Level 7 already. No kills yet between these two teams. Very interesting to see such so much. A lot of these players are like past level 6 and no first blood yet, so like we're seeing a very conservative play, I think, by both teams. We just got in on this. We didn't have a chance to see the picks and the bans and all that stuff, but going in the mid lane right now, we have Clockwork going against that Magnus, both level 7 right now, and Disruptor just chilling in the woods right there at level 3, definitely playing that support role, putting up those runes, the sentry runes, the observer wards, and of course carrying that smoke to seed, and of course Rubric right now for Team Faded, just stacking away those camps to help out Clockwork. So Clockwork, as I just noted a moment ago, picking up that double damage rune, having to activate it now, and really doing a pretty good job farming right now, sitting at 39 CS. And just making a next purchase right now, and that is being couriered to him, and that is, by the looks of it, yeah, it's going to be a magic wand with 2 blades of attack going in there. So going down to the bottom lane right now, we see Lone Druid going against that Gyrocopter, Disruptor joining in on that too, but look at this smoke gank right behind the Disruptor. There is Shadow Demon and Jakiro. A little bit of trouble right there for Disruptor. There goes the Ice Path casted by Jakiro, but now it is Disruptor that's chasing after Shadow Demon, and Clockwork getting in there. Nice hook shot by Clockwork. Going in for the first blood. It is Clockwork wanting a piece of it, and there it goes. Gyrocopter getting that first blood, and we see a call down as well. Double kill going for Gyrocopter. Call down was made, taking down that Jakiro, and wow. What a dramatic first blood that was. Did you see that hook shot, Thomas?
Absolutely. It's so unfortunate that Jakiro missed that ice path. I feel like they could have at least secured the first blood on Disruptor had Jakiro hit that ice path. But man, that was a great hook shot. Great response from Tinker, or from Clockwork in the middle there. And knocked up 2 kills for them on the board really easily.
Yeah, definitely. It was a real pleasure to see that. Clockwork is one of my favorite heroes. I just love seeing that hook shot. Definitely used for offensive purposes, but also we've seen in the past, I'm sure many of you, the viewers here, have seen in the past using it for defensive purposes as well, to get out of sticky situations. So. But early going in the game right now, 2-0 is the lead for Team Faded, just under the 9-minute mark, and we just saw a moment ago, just about 1 minute ago, the first blood. So I think, so much time that's passed, and we see the amount of experience that's been shared for these two teams, seeing such a, what I would consider as a late first blood. It's an indication of the play style of both of these two teams, obviously going for a conservative role. And there we go, Ruber casting that telekinesis on the Shadow Demon, trying to get him up on that ledge. And there we go, Clockwork getting in that hook shot. And there we see the Ice Path casted by Jakiro. Shadow Demon casting that disruption on himself. Not going to be enough, though. Clockwork getting that kill on, Rubric actually picking up that kill on Shadow Demon. And now look at this, the Spirit Bearer taking all sorts of damage by that Gyrocopter. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to escape. Nope, the bear is down. Gyrocopter picking up that kill. And now it's Jakiro in all sorts of trouble. Rubric getting in his little licks in there, but Jakiro will live. And now it is Team Faded who is in retreat. Rubric taking so much damage, but we see those cogs there by the Clockwork, perhaps probably saving, or at least almost saving the Rubric, who's just been taken down by that Magnus. And now it's Clockwork who's in all sorts of trouble. A nice, right there we see Disruptor getting in everyone's face, casting that kinetic field, slowing down this this assault by Team CTP. But with that said, both teams are well on the board right now, in a real nice team fight that we just saw a moment ago.
Definitely, yeah. I think that CTP did the best they could in turning that around after losing Shadow Demon there early. But I hope we have a bit to talk about because, of course, we're just getting into these games. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the picks of the bands. I'd just like to talk a little bit about something you said. It made me think of how both of these teams are going to be playing. It does seem like they're going for like this more of a, especially CTP with their lineup, seems to go for like this more of this like slow, methodical sort of play where they're going to try and get their carries farmed up. I mean, we have Anti-Mage in this top lane who's been pretty much left alone, and Lone Druid is one of the most hard carries that you can get in the late game. So I feel like the job for CTP, I feel like the burden is going to be on this Magnus, Jack Hero, and Shadow Demon to make space for the Lone Druid and the Anti-Mage to farm, and they've been doing a good job of that so far. Whereas if we look at the Faded team, we just casted a game actually, which was Meow versus Armata Gaming, and their Gyrocopter did an excellent job at carrying that game. But I feel like this Gyrocopter is the only player on their team that's really going to be able to carry into the late game. If you look at Disruptor, Darkseer is, if he gets those good walls off, it's great. And this Clockwork has been landing all of his hook shots so far, but I mean, they're going to have their work cut out for them in the late game, I feel, especially if the Magnus, Shadow Demon, and Jack Hero from CTP manage to create that space and create those opportunities for Anti-Mage and Lone Druid to farm.
And we're just going into the top lane right now. We just see there is Gyrocopter taking so much damage there by that Magnus. Reverse Polarity successfully casted there by him. And now it's Disruptors in all sorts of trouble. We see Telekinesis casted on Magnus. Magnus going down. And so is Shadow Demon. This Darkseer getting it up in everyone's face. Real big play right there by by both teams, actually. Gyrocopter and Disruptor being taken down as well in that engagement. So very interesting to see. We just see Anti-Mage picking up a kill there as well. And yeah, absolutely, I have to agree with you that Gyrocopter is going to have to spearhead the carry role for Team Faded. But really, I think, just listening to what you were saying a moment ago, that it's really a race against time because, as you mentioned about Lone Druid and Anti-Mage, like you're looking at some of the very hardest carries in the game, especially later on. And so far, this Anti-Mage has just been eating up the creep kills, sitting at 83 right now. And if we can just look right now of net worth, Anti-Mage is up there for 5,500, just behind the Gyrocopters. So yeah, I have to agree with you completely. What you were saying, so.
Yeah, that was a really cute move there by Rubik. Anti-Mage went in there to deny the tower. Unfortunately, missed the last hit. He got telekinesis up, and Rubik just came in and put that last hit on the tower before Anti-Mage could deny it. At the same time, I saw Lone Druid teleport out of a very nasty gank from Gyrocopter and Rubik on bot lane. So, yeah, no, so far so good. I feel like that's how the game is going to play out. I feel like we saw it just there in that team fight top lane. Who were the main players in that team fight? We had Magnus, we had Shadow Demon, we had Jack Hero. And besides that, Anti-Mage came in to kill that Disruptor, but then he just went back to farming, right? So that's how this game's going to play out, I feel. And I feel like, are they going to catch this Invisible Darkseer? No, they're not. Wow, that was dangerous for him for a second. That sentry
Danger zone.
Yeah, that sentry just came down there.
It's lucky for him, Darkseer did manage to dodge a bullet for what it seems, for what it's worth, just a moment ago right now by that guy. I like that name, that guy. And then we just see Shadow Demon casting a disruption on Clockwork, forcing him to draw back just for at least the moment. Clockwork getting in there with that Rocket Flare, one of the more annoying spells in the game if he's your opponent. I've seen a lot of players use that Rocket Flare very successfully, and it's a good indication of the skill for Clockwork. Like nailing those Rocket Flares, because you have to have that map awareness and also like good shots in the darkness. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like Pudge's hook. Sometimes he is shooting blind. It's one of the more annoying spells, especially when you think you're going to live with just a sliver of health and you're almost away, and then boom. Oh, with that said, though, we see Clockwork getting in there with that nice hook shot. Shadow Demon going down. 7-4 lead right there for Team Faded. But yeah, as I was just saying, I'm going to go that Rocket Flare. It's a fun spell.
Yeah,
I like it.
Definitely. The onus, though, is going to be on Faded to push these lanes. I feel like that's what their team comp is kind of. I feel like that's what their draft is better suited for, rather than kind of sitting back and farming. Especially if they're only going to have about 3 people to help keep these people off the towers, really. Lone Druid looks like he's taking a more active role in defending towers rather than farming, but you have to remember that as time goes on, Lone Druid is just going to get, out of control as well. Looks like we do have a smoke gank going into the Dire jungle, though. Gyrocopter sharking for kills with that haste rune. I wonder if he's going to get anybody.
Well, there's Magnus, though. Magnus is up for grabs, and we see that Rocket Barrage almost skewering into the base. Not enough, though, but actually will buy him the space that he needs to back off, and he got lucky there. A few more missteps to the left, and I think Magnus would have been sitting in the pool for a couple of seconds at least. We do see Disruptor still smoked up. Also, Rubric and Clockwork, but the smoke just wearing off right now. And we're just taking a quick look right now by those bottom ancients, and this anti-mage, I gotta hand it to him. Like, he is farming like a boss right now, sitting at 1,200 gold right now, just picking up that Battle Fury 16 minutes into the match. So his focus and his duty right now of farming away, he is doing that, and very, very successfully, I think. Yeah, his net worth is right up there. And so, yeah, actually, he's just passed the Gyrocopter for the Radiance. So with a 500 gold lead, thoughts? What do you think?
If I had to pick between Anti-Mage and Gyrocopter in terms of, who's the better carry, and if they have more farm, it's Anti-Mage hands down. Anti-Mage is just a phenomenal carry. He's just such great mobility, and once he gets that a little bit of survivability, even just like a Manta style, it's gonna be lights out for this other team. I feel, because I just don't feel like they have a lot of strength, and I think they need to start pushing this issue. Faded really needs to realize that both Lone Druid and Anti-Mage are potential targets to just kill their entire team by themselves. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I feel like they tried that smoke gank. Okay, that didn't work. They have this really aggressive ward up here on the Dire jungle, but I don't feel like they're taking enough advantage of the positional arrows from Team CTP.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, but it's this anti-mage I got my eye on once again. Like, he just picked up that Yasha, and that was like a minute after he's picked up the Battle Fury. So I'm looking at the fact, like, it's a game of time right now, and time is running out, I think, for Team Faded in a sense, because in terms of carries, like, you mentioned a moment ago, spot on, I think, between Gyrocopter and Anti-Mage, it definitely goes for AM's favor, and he is closing in on that survivability, which it looks to be going for that Manta style early on. And if I were to put a time on it, I could say within about the 25-minute mark, he's probably going to have it, maybe even sooner, depending on a team fight or two. But I think they listen to you, Thomas, because right now Team Faded is making a push for that tier 2 tower. Gyrocopter disrupted pretty much a whole Team Faded right there. Nice Clockwork hook shot, and Shadow Demon with that disruption trying to save Jakiro, but to no avail. No luck there. Called down by Gyrocopter. Magnus in all sorts of trouble. Look at this. CTP with their backs against the wall. And then now we see Team Faded going right back to work on that tier 2 tower. And Thomas, I think they're
stream cheating. Maybe they're watching the stream, but no, definitely. That's what they needed to do. They definitely needed that momentum. And now look at this. They have Anti-Mage on the field, and they have Shadow Demon. Okay, well, they still have a decent anti-push contingent here, but they're going to take a lot of damage on this tier 3 tower, and that's unavoidable.
And I just want to point out one thing right now. CTP, shame on you, Anti-Mage. He's just getting that TP right now. And look who's TPing in. It's the Anti-Mage. Is he going to be able to do anything to make a difference in this team fight right now? 9-4 is lead under the 20-minute mark. We see the Ice Path drop by that Jakiro. Spirit Bearer going down. Bad news right there. Magnus with the Reverse Polarity. Huge play right there. Rubric going down. So is the Darkseer. Gyrocopter with that call down. A big trouble right now for Clockwork. Clockwork also being taken down. So yeah, Anti-Mage also, he was taken down back by AM. CTP does fend off the attack. However, that tower did take quite a bit of damage, but at a significant cost for Team Faded. Disruptor casting that disruption on the Anti-Mage to draw him back. And now it's Team Faded that is in a hasty retreat. But look at this, the Spirit Bear just zoning in on that disruptor going down. Lone Druid picking him off. A little bit of extra experience going for Anti-Mage. Very interesting play, and you got to wonder, like, CTP, they countered this push, I think, successfully against Faded. But carry the TPs, man. Because that almost got out of control.
Definitely.
For CTP.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of quantify what they lost, they have an Anti-Mage who's a buyback on cooldown. He had to spend, I would say, about 1,000 gold to come back into the game as quickly as he did. They did manage to save the tower, which looked like it was going to go down, and he did look like almost Anti-Mage. He's still not there yet. That gyro, I feel, really took him out. He just was standing on the edge of that call down, unfortunately, and he just died there. So CTP, they need to, or sorry, Faded rather, they need to keep pushing, and that's exactly what they're doing. I'm really happy that I'm seeing this one.
Yeah, they're no slouch in terms of strategy. I mean, like, they have a pretty good understanding, I think, like, the situation that they're in, and we see right now Darkseer playing a real aggressive stance right there. So Ruber picking off that spell steal, grabbing up the disruption. Jakiro with that macro power call down, or the macro power spell that his ult is being cast. But yeah, once again, we're seeing some exquisite pressure given by Team Faded. And CTP, we're looking at Anti-Mage once again. Does have that TP scroll, just picked up that ultimate orb, and is closing in on that Manta style. But meanwhile, right now, the pressure is on, and Faded knows they got to make a push, and it's a structural advantage right now for Team Faded as they are making a push for that last tower that is before the Rax Rocket Flare right there, hitting Shadow Demon, Magnus, and Lone Druid. And now it's Team Faded who's fading away from this pressure that they're putting on. And I'm assuming right now, I think they're going to transition to that bottom tower. But a notable purchase right there. We just see Anti-Mage picking up that Manta style, Gyrocopter activating a double damage rune, and it's what do you think they're going to do now that Faded, like, they do have structural momentum, and I think they are seizing this window of opportunity that I think is closing more and more as time goes on. But do you see them continuing this push?
I feel like their only other option is to smoke gank, and look at this. They just warded this, and then it's already a sentry ward here. That's just bad luck. But I feel like they can't push now. Anti-Mage has his Manta style. Anti-Mage you're gonna start seeing him in the fights now. So their options now are to start warding very offensively, start warding all over their jungle, just trying to pick off one or two heroes with smoke or stealth. And besides that, though, I don't see what else they can do. I mean, between the Magnus and the Anti-Mage, it's gonna take a pretty good team fight from Faded if they're gonna want to win this. But look at this, they're gonna push this bottom lane. They just took the tier 2 tower, and I hope
it's gonna work out for them as well. But right now, Anti-Mage is making a push of his own, really is not in a position to TP in there to defend this bottom assault. And there we go, Gyrocopter with that BKB, the call down, taking down Lone Druid and Shadow Demon, Jakiro as well, and Jakiro with a buyback. And now that bottom tower is all sorts of trouble, and a very questionable move by Anti-Mage, just TPing in right now, but the damage is done. Gyrocopter taking down 3 of CTP heroes, and yes, this tower is going down, folks. Team Faded with real strong aggression, and AM is there, but really not in a position to really attack, because right now they have a player advantage, and Gyrocopter, though, forcing to back off, and we see Clockwork in there, Macro Power also being casted, Wall of Replica, ults everywhere right now, but it looks as though that CTP is barely going to be able to defend this onslaught by Faded, and it's good enough to push them back, at least for the moment. But the damage was done. Faded got some kills in there, took down that tower, exposing the bottom racks, and now we see AM going in there. and Disruptor getting a glimpse on him, and we see him coming right back. Telekinesis casted on Anti-Mage, really stuck now. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe what I've just seen. Anti-Mage taken down, big play there by Disruptor to silence him, and now Anti-Mage has been taken down. Also Magnus, buyback by Anti-Mage as well. Shadow Demon casting that disruption on Clockwork. Ice Path also there to slow him down. The Spirit Bearer grabs him with the Thorns as well. Yeah, but really, Team Fated, they sense victory, and they are wanting to continue this push. With 16-8 lead right now for Team Fated, and definitely some momentum going for them. But we do see Disruptor, though, a little bit of trouble being taken down there by that, the Lone Druid. So. And now it's CTP that's in pursuit. So, gosh, man, what an interesting turn of events. Some questionable plays there. This Anti-Mage is in I'm only going to farm mode. That tunnel vision.
I played far too many pubs with people like this Anti-Mage.
Seriously, man. I was very surprised to see that play there, especially without no poor TP scroll.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's... we're making little jokes about their name, CTP, carry TP, and then seeing their bread and butter carry, AM, not carrying a TP was kind of funny. So, yeah, just passing the 26-minute mark right now, 16-9 is the lead for Team Fated, and they definitely have a structural advantage. And I think right now, in my opinion, if I was on Team Fated and I saw the kind of plays that I've seen by CTP, I would definitely keep going. I would definitely keep pushing and look to take advantage of one or two of their players at a position. And, of course, just pay attention to those lanes, But it appears right now that CTP is kind of like turtling into their own base and is aware of the momentum that has clearly gone on the way for Team Fated. Just a quick look right now at the experience graphs. And it looks as though, yeah, the experience is gone back in it's pretty even Steven right now, 42,000 experience over 40,000 over the Dire, and of course with gold there's definitely a little bit of an advantage right now for the Radiant with almost 10,000 gold over the Dire.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just don't know what that bottom racks fight should have just been a simple defense. Anti-Mage had that push going bottom. I understand he wanted to take the tower bottom. I get that. His illusions could have done that, absolutely, with just the creep wave. But now it looks like Fated is not stopping, and they're going to come in and take this Rax.
And they got that Pipe of Insight, too, to negate spell damage for them. And then we see the Magnus there with an RP. Totally missing everybody. That's going to be proved costly, and also macro power being casted. Gyrocopter taking down that Shadow Demon. Very questionable plays right there. That Spirit Bearer, all sorts of trouble being taken down as well. Gyrocopter, Jakiro now being taken down by the Clockwork, and Gyrocopter with a call down. Double kill. I cannot believe what I'm seeing here, folks. Anti-Mage also being taken down. Magnus is trying to do what he can to defend, but double kill goes for Clockwork. And we're looking... And the bottom racks is going to go down. I'm in disbelief right now. Team Fated playing this really, really aggressively and really well. And the momentum is clearly in their favor. There's a huge gaping hole in the base, and now they're transitioning to that top tower with Darkseer spearheading that attack, and Clockwork right in there in Shadow Demon's face with that hook shot. Game is paused. Very, very questionable pause.
No, Anti-Mage has disconnected, so it does seem like they're pausing for Anti-Mage.
I see.
I don't quite know what happened. I mean, Anti-Mage's farm was just outstanding, and it's just...
I think that's the extent of his game, though, because it really, I think, it's almost like he was in a hypnotic state of, like, I'm only going to farm. And there's a couple of questionable plays that has absolutely proved costly. We see that Spirit Bear tracking down that Clockwork, but it's not going to be enough. Gyrocopter getting right in there, getting that bear to run away. Pipe of Insight being cast, but yeah, they are all really all over this bottom top melee racks right now. Jakiro just ignoring, Gyrocopter just ignoring Jakiro while they take down that bottom racks, top racks. Magnus in there trying to get that RP off, does so. Skura on Rubric. Rubik in a little bit of trouble right now. There's Clockwork with that Rocket Barrage, very low on health, not much mana either. But really, their focus is on the structures. We see Magnus jumping in there with that Shockwave. The Ice Path being cast there by Jakiro, missing everybody. And there's AM. He is in there. Very low mana and health is Rubik. And boom goes the dynamite. AM picks off Rubik. And now they're in pursuit of Gyrocopter, but most likely he's going to be able to get away. There's the regen rune just being bottled up right there, activated by Gyrocopter as they make their retreat. But really, folks, the damage has been done. The bottom racks, the bottom towers, all gone. The top melee racks also being taken out. And right now, CTP is looking at a pretty damaged base right now.
Yeah, and this is what Faded needed to do. You and me were both talking about how Lone Druid, Anti-Mage, it's a race against time. You know what I mean? And now they've sort of Faded has gotten themselves into a position where it's not that big. You know what I mean? It's not they can sit back kind of and take some of this pressure off because they have 2 Raxes down. These lanes are going to push out automatically without any interference from their team, and so they've bought themselves a lot of time. I feel with these 2 Raxes. Oh look, Zanky might get caught and.
Oh, Clockwork just missing that hook
oh,
shot.
No,
look at
the
this glimpse. Oh no! All sorts of trouble right now for Anti-Mage with that glimpse. Nice glimpse there by Disruptor in picking off Anti-Mage, and Anti-Mage has just been taken down. And we were talking about the victor between these 2 carries. Well, it looks like Gyrocopter is going to win on that one, and rightly so. Gyrocopter getting the last hit on Anti-Mage, and Anti-Mage is going to have to sit in the timeout area for about a minute. And this looks like it's going to be the GG push.
Devastating push middle.
Yeah, they're not even going to bother looking at Roshan right now. They're just going to be going for that that last lane push, and it's going to really put CTP at a great disadvantage. Basically, mega creeps coming in, and we see CTP just trying to fend off even that bottom lane. Now they're transitioning in to defend that mid lane. Pipe of Insight being casted off by that Darkseer, called down by Gyrocopter. All sorts of trouble right now for CTP. Wall of Replica being cast, that Spirit Bear, boom, gone. So is Jakiro, Lone Druid, and Shadow Demon, folks. This is pretty much it. 25-11 is the kill count. Led by Team Faded. That melee racks is going down, and now they're turning over to the ranged racks, and pretty much the only CTP member that is left up is Magnus, but everybody else, it doesn't look like there's any buybacks. Now Faded is going for that last racks. GG's called. Well played, guys. CTP has been defeated in a huge upset, in my opinion, by Team Faded. We talked about this. AM had the farm and looked pretty scary, but really it was just that tunnel vision and really a slow response time, I think, to defending the base, like you mentioned earlier. What would have been pretty much a standard defense in that bottom lane earlier was not standard at all, and Team Faded just caught the scent of blood, and we just see now the Ancient going down. That's it, folks. Team Faded wins.
Wow, that was a very surprising game. It's just that I hate pointing fingers, but I mean that Anti-Mage really, I felt, let his team down there, because that bottom, there's just no excuse for it. Do you know what I mean? It just was such a textbook defense. Yeah. Maybe Anti-Mage couldn't have, even if people to think that Anti-Mage couldn't have fought there because he didn't have time, if he was just there in the bottom lane, he would have presence there.